Happy Sunday. How is everyone? Let's see if I'm going to do this without any technical mistakes. I know it. I almost. How are you? Andy D, thank you. You hit the super chat before I could even get a fundraiser up. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Happy Sunday. I thought it'd just be us hanging out. I asked a couple of people to join us as guests, and things came up and they couldn't. One had a really good excuse. They're on an emergency rescue helping some homeless youth. And I gotta say that's the best excuse ever, that they're out helping people. But I thought I would just say hello. We're friends here, right? We're friends and family. And I'm really working hard on getting this house ready and getting out of here and getting back to Los Angeles, which will have, oh my gosh, it will have a huge influence on me. It will have a huge influence on invisible people, and it will have a huge influence on our impact. I'm really excited. I mean, Los Angeles is where we started. It's where we grew. Then I was taking care of my mom. For those that knew, wow, I got this like purple thing happening in the glasses. How's that happening? What's up with that? No, Dano, I saw you comment real early on the biscuits. My goodness, you must just be waiting for this every Sunday. I think about you a lot. And these are, I don't have the other ones close. These are my walking around glasses. I don't wear these out, and I don't normally wear them for a video shoot. And they fall off, especially like when I'm wearing a mask, and in the grocery store, they just go zoom, zoom. And it's, besides being a pain in the guacamole, it's embarrassing. That's if I remember. Sometimes I just forget and I run out the door. So the big question is, do I go back to COVID hair? Just to carry on where I was, and I would be wrong of me to not welcome all of you, but also say thank you and welcome Addie, who is formerly homeless, and Derek, who is homeless, who are moderating the chat. They are the best moderators on the internet. But I am really, really pushing to get out of here and to get back to Los Angeles. And to make that happen, I am, I was up early, and I've been slowly but surely tackling all the stuff in this house. It's going to be... So what I'm going to do, I'll just be honest with the plan, is I'm off to Los Angeles in 2 weeks to start looking for an apartment. And after that, I am just going to pack up and get out of here. Hopefully I'm going to start looking for a realtor. I mean, this house, you guys, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but I was, for months looking for the title to my mom's car. Couldn't find it. Went to the DMV, and the DMV had me go to another city's DMV, and that was a whole process and took forever. And finally got it. Couldn't find the title. Last night I found the title. And if I stop finding boxes of photos, I might get out of here sooner. This purple stuff is really kind of interesting. But point is, today and every day, I am going to just aggressively work on this house. Summertime is coming. I don't have any more excuses. Dano, thanks for asking about my health. I really don't know. That's another. I mean, I had some stuff that I canceled, like Ithaca, and every winter and once during the summer, I go to Ithaca and do a tour of the 10 cities. I'm waking up for those of you that don't know, I did a week in the hospital recently. I have blood clots in my lungs, and it may be months before they go away. They have me on medications. It is, but I wake up not being able to breathe, and then the day gets better. So it's better than it was, but thank you for asking. It's coming up on March. It's my birthday, but right now, what I can't get off my mind is Texas, and throughout the South. And it's really, so tens of thousands of, not tens of thousands, but lots of homeless people, maybe even tens of thousands. There's no national death count, right? I can tell you the amount of homeless people that died in Los Angeles County, but I can't tell you across the nation. And to be completely honest, the death counts are probably significantly lower, because somebody may die and they don't know that they're homeless, or it's not reported, or could be a lot of different things. So, but this is what happens. This is how people die of hyperthermia, is if you go up to the frozen north, if you go up to Minnesota. I saw my Minnesota friend in the chat, Tristan. She can call me out if I'm not telling the truth. But people, South Dakota, North Dakota, Canada, up in the frozen north, upstate New York, Maine, they're used to the cold. And if they're sleeping outside, they are used to it. It's still hell, but they know how to double up. They know how to have hot water bottles. There's a guy that's homeless in New York City, an older guy, and he fills up a thermos with hot water every night to keep himself warm. And so when you see that there's a lot of deaths because of hyperthermia, that is usually when the cold gets, down to the south. I don't know if you remember, Derek might, but a couple of years back, there was 6 homeless people that died of hyperthermia in San Jose. So where it gets really dangerous is the people that are living, in the southern states, below San Francisco, below St. Louis, below Arkansas, the Carolinas. I mean, there was a woman that froze to death in Washington, D.C. last week. When the cold gets below, like it's been happening in the South and Texas and New Mexico and Florida, what the homeless people that are outside don't have the blankets. They don't have the survival skills that homeless people up north. Now, I haven't seen a lot of coverage in the news. I saw a lot. Dano, stop me. I'm about ready to rant. I saw a lot of news coverage of sea turtles in Texas being saved. And sea turtles are like really cool and they're important, right? I'm not trying to say we shouldn't save sea turtles, but my God. Ah! So I've been thinking a lot about Texas. You guys might have too. I was actually in Houston, Texas. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, 1967, 1968. It was back when, just before they landed a man on the moon, we went to NASA. Hey, Walter, I'm headed your way soon. And it snowed. I remember it snowed in Houston. And, if you see, and gosh, my heart breaks for the house people too. I mean, water pipes being burst. No drinking water. It's really, 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 really. And, you got to think about it. We're just on the plus side of the pandemic. I read a couple of news stories yesterday that, the Dr. Fauci's of the world, the experts, the scientists, the people that we should be listening to are talking about they're talking about optimism. Fauci is saying next Christmas it's going to be all right. And there's a huge percentage of people that have been vaccinated. I get vaccinated Tuesday. That's really amazing. And I'm excited to get back to normal. I'm excited to get back out and start helping homeless people. I'm excited to start hanging out with all of you guys. And then this Texas crisis hits, right? I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm don't tell anybody, but I turned 60 soon. And there was a crisis every now and then. Now it's like a couple every year. Is that me? Is that me? And we just got to get better. The crises are coming. Us as humans, we got to take care of our neighbors. Hi, Matthew. He said to 2022. What Matthew just typed in was that Fauci said that we're going to be wearing masks. I hate that. I don't like wearing masks. I don't think anybody does, but I wear masks whenever I walk out the house. because of you, because I don't want to transmit anything. So please wear masks, wear masks, wear masks. Paul, I have no idea what full MOPP gear is, but that seems a little bit far-fetched. And somebody earlier said, get somebody to help you with the house. And, that's where I'm at. I realize it's a really big job. Oh, Kitty, I think it was. But Kitty, I got to go get it cut. So what I've decided to do is I am going to pack up all my stuff. I've been selling stuff on eBay. I've been getting rid of what I can. I'm going to pack up all my stuff, and the rest. This house isn't worth that much in this neighborhood. But I got to get to Los Angeles. I got to get out of here. So I'm going to hire estate people, which drives me crazy because you pay them to come in to remove the stuff and they just go sell it. But that's where I'm at. That's why this week I'm really, really trying to get the house ready, at least for a realtor to come through, and then we can hopefully get this all going, and I get to LA. So, Matthew, a lot of people have talked about that. First off, Airbnb has contributed. The share rental has contributed to homelessness. So I don't think I could do that. Second, I live in a small town, upstate New York. Our airport has one flight every day to Detroit. That's it. Nobody's coming to where I live. So there's no market for Airbnb. As far as rentals, if rental is a liability, the bottom line is and I've thought a lot about it. If I was to rent it out, either me living here playing landlord or maybe even hiring a management company, the rental here for a 3-bedroom house, I know, Tristan. The only flight is to Detroit every day. And now because of COVID, I have to spend, because there's no direct flights anymore. So I have to spend a night in Detroit to go to Los Angeles, to go any place. So I thought a lot about it. If I rent it out myself, that puts me in a landlord position. The money, this is a very depressed city. There's no money in rentals. And if I rent it out to a management, it's just gonna, just be horrible. Yeah, Matthew, Detroit Airport is really, really great. But there is good news. So, this is, if you are, you guys may or may not, hopefully you have, saw the research that we launched. I was supposed to be doing this earlier, but a hospital stay kind of changed that. This is really for if you work in the nonprofit sector, if you work in communications, especially nonprofit I can't even talk tonight. But if you work in nonprofit comms, so we are doing a webinar. And I would not, it's a free webinar. I mean, if you want to sign up, but it's really for comms people. We're going to talk about the research with the Mark Dickinson, who is the writer and the author of the research, and we're going to be giving recommendations. It's really amazing. Maybe I'll do more. Hey, Zane Capacera Chupacabra. Hey, I actually know what that is. I didn't know what to spell. Hey, Zane Chupacabra. I love the last name. I love the handle. Don't know exactly. Mark monetize videos and donate. Okay, so you want me to put ads on the video. So let's say Walter, who's in the chat room, his video probably maybe made $30 this year if I put ads on it. There's no ads on Walter's video. And Walter, I have handed, it's between me and Walter, but Walter's gotten more in cash from me than he has from a video. So I know the YouTube model is put ads on, but if an ad doesn't get millions of views, and you know, the ads on invisible people that have a lot of views, they're older. They're not getting a lot of views now. And, you know, so the amount of money is not that much. It is better. Like tonight, we raised $130. That's amazing. I'm grateful. That money will go to still a little help, Zane. So what I'm going to move on, because then I'm going to rant and then Dano's going to get mad at me. Jesus Christ. Also, thank you for your donation. I saw that earlier. So Jesus Christ, a good question. Is there more alcoholism in the homeless community or street drugs? It varies, and it's really the law of supply and demand. And what I mean by that is, if you go to New York City, you're going to see a lot more opioids. You're going to see fentanyl. When you go up to Anchorage, Alaska, you see Inuits and Eskimos drinking Listerine because they're so addicted to they're drinking mouthwash because they're so addicted to alcohol. And that's a very real crisis. So what is available on the street or to homeless people is really about supply and demand, you know, and as much as, you know, I mean, methamphetamine is a horrible drug, but it's a perfect drug for homelessness. You know, if you sleep, you're vulnerable. You don't have a lot of energy. You're depressed. If I do some meth, I'm up going through garbage cans, you know, recycling. I got energy, right? Heroin is, and I was an addict to both. Heroin is a horrible drug. But it's also a perfect drug for homelessness, because if you do heroin, you could saw off your arm and not feel it. So all this pain that you have from whatever the trauma is that caused your homelessness to the pain that homelessness is causing, heroin is the perfect escape. Now you add them both, and thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Daniel. Now you add them both, and they're the type of drugs that take over. there's a point where I'll just use my own life. There was a point where I needed drugs more than I needed air. And I wasn't thinking, I mean, hey, Vicky, hi. And thank you, Lori. Thank you, Anonymous. So there, you know, people say, well, why can't you stop? Why can't you? So can somebody tweet the other day that marijuana is the gateway drug to carbs, carbohydrates. There's truth to that. Well, speaking of which, while I'm there, you know, why marijuana is the gateway drug, which it's not, is because it's illegal. You have to go to places that are illegal, deal with people that are not really up and up, and now you're around much harder drugs. You know, this thinking that marijuana, you know, this thinking that marijuana is a gateway drug that turns people into, hey, you know what? Can you guys see this? Oh my gosh! I wish the YouTube interface allowed screen share. This is my favorite place in the whole wide world. It's Insight. It's a supervised injection facility. I've been there twice. It's in the downtown east side in Vancouver. And why I love it is because I feel unconditional love when I am in there. So you have clinicians who are medical professionals, you have administrative people that run it, and then you have peers, actual people addicted to drugs that volunteer and help out. And you can't tell them from the other unless somebody is overdosing or somebody's having a heart attack. Then the clinicians kick in to save their lives. I totally love Insight. By the way, did you guys see? Hopefully you did. I'm going to share a link just in case you didn't. I am. So did you guys see our latest mini doc? So we got some good news coming. Whoop. Oh, stop.
Watch it live on
Stop. Okay, here's our latest mini doc. In Venice with Dr. King. If you haven't seen it, hopefully you have. If you haven't seen it, please watch. Let me know. Hey, me. We get this question a lot. Your donations go to help end homelessness. We're not a charity organization. We feed people. I'm going to bring Walter up again. We've fed Walter and when he was homeless, and we help people. But charity, Dano, better stop me. Charity crisis, right? You can give away 10 billion sandwiches and people will still be homeless. Yes, if somebody's hungry, you need to feed them. If somebody needs a blanket, you need to get them a blanket. And there's a lot of organizations doing that, what Invisible People does. And this YouTube channel is only a small part of what we do. We work at educating the public through storytelling, like the mini documentary I just shared. Journalism, we're on Apple News and Google News, and we post daily news, often written by homeless people and formerly homeless people. We have educational content. We have the only place online for young adults to learn about homelessness. And why does this matter? If you look, like today, we started producing 2 new shows, right? We're starting to produce a scripted. If you guys saw the movie on homeless movie, we didn't produce that. I just posted it, but we're going to post some on eviction. And we're doing another one on criminalization. And, you know, the stuff wouldn't exist if the public was educated. And what we're doing, when you donate, the money goes to help educate the public to create policy change. Right now, there's tens of millions. I mean, the number is, we're now sharing 14 million. I've heard it up to 23 and 30 million are at risk of being homeless. They are at risk of being homeless. So what we need to do is not make them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We need to friggin' scream as loud as we can to end homelessness and to create policy that keeps families with their children in their apartment. And I'm sorry, I get, you know, one of the things that I've got to work on is figuring out a way that we educate the public that charity is important. Charity is good. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. I hand out socks. I feed people. I help people whenever I can. That's a good feeling. There's nothing wrong with that. But we also have to end the reasons that they need food or they need socks. And that's not going to come by handing out a sandwich. So Invisible People is not a direct services organization. And through the GoFundMes that we post, we raise $100,000 a year or more for homeless people directly. I'm not involved with that. I won't post a GoFundMe where I'm the middleman. Otherwise, every year, I think last year we spent $20,000 on tents and food and sleeping bags and whatever we could when there was somebody in need. But that's not what we do. I mean, I'm mostly handing out socks and tents and sleeping bags in Los Angeles, and there's a gazillion nonprofits that have multi-million-dollar budgets that can make a better sandwich than I can. So what is our value add? Our value proposition is you guys. We have worked really hard at building an audience. And that audience is important because we are all going to, you know, scream real loud, and we have to. I cannot tell you how many times every day I read a news article about some city sweeping. Sweeping is a term used for they bring in sanitation and police and just bulldoze over a homeless encampment. That's what we're trying to stop. Your donations are going to trying to educate, because I believe, and we can prove, that if people really understood homelessness and they understood there's people in the tents and there's people in those encampments, if they really understood, then they wouldn't criminalize them. So hopefully they answered your question, and thank you. It's actually an important question. Oh, somebody else asked a question right below that question and it scrolled up and I lost it. I am so sorry. It looked like there you go. So Mark Stoltz asks, can you explain your idea of how people can help the homeless get back on their feet? The homeless need a place to get out of the elements and shower each day to get back into the system. So we have to change the system. So I tell everybody, and this is educate yourself and those around you. Educate your coworkers, educate your bowling league, educate your Girl Scout troop, your Boy Scout troop, your church group, whatever. Educate yourself and those around you. I cannot stress how important it is. Then maybe the most important is to get politically active. I know, see, here is this thinking that we're going to help homeless people get a job and then they're going to rent an apartment and life is going to be great. Well, look at how homelessness is created. Lack of affordable housing, broken criminal justice system, racism, domestic violence, lack of a living wage, addiction, mental health. You can keep on going and going. So until we fix all those things, and thank you all for setting this up, but that is the importance of Invisible People's work, is we're trying to go upstream. So most homeless services, we're telling you, we're ending homelessness. We're going to end homelessness. We're going to work ourselves out of a job. Bullshit, right? Because homelessness is not a cause. Homelessness is a symptom of all these other issues. So the system is creating homelessness. And Mark, this is a great question. I mean, right now, you have 14 million households at risk of being homeless. The service jobs are non-existent. And then you have stuff like Prop 22, which was funded by Lyft and Instacart and Uber. They said, they funded this law that they said would help the gig workers, right? And as soon as it passed, Kroger goes and lays off all these friggin' workers and then they're all getting less money now. The gig workers, how did you think that was going to end? It's a law that was funded and backed by Uber and Lyft and Instacart and DoorDash and all the gig economy. And they're saying, we're going to treat drivers better if you pass this. And then it passed and they're treating drivers like shit and they're getting less money. And I'm just using that as one of many examples of how we have to work to change the system. We have the idea, we've been programmed, how you help a homeless person is that you get them into some kind of workforce development so that they get some job training. And then they find a job and save up to get first and last month's rent, and they're no longer homeless. In 5 years, trucks will drive themselves. 4 million truckers will be out of work. The 7 million data entry clerks will be out of work. Automation, they've already started making cashier list stores. Amazon has one where you just go in and pull your stuff off the shelf that you want, you put it in your cart and you walk out and you're billed. And they're going to have robots restock the shelves. So, Trump and politicians, and Eddie, I promise I'm not going political here. They've been telling you it's China, and it's not. It's not Mexico. They've been telling you because that's what we all believe, and it will help get votes. But it's robots and computers that are going to take American jobs. They already are. They already are taking American jobs. So when we look at homelessness, when we look at solving homelessness, we have to go upstream. I mean, we have to fix the systemic racism that has created. I mean, homelessness is primarily our Black and brown brothers, our Native Americans are out on the streets in disproportionate numbers because of these policies that we have had for years. So we have to change. We as a society have to change the system. And that's why Invisible People's work is so very important. Hopefully that made sense, and hopefully that answered your question. Thank you. Hi, John. I am sorry that you're suffering from your homeless experiences. I have that issue myself. I've been off the streets for a long, and that was you guys got a rant out of me. Are you happy? I mean, that was kind of I didn't go too crazy. Thanks, John. So, Mark, really, Mark Stoltz, I see you asked the same question again, and I ranted for a while. If you're still here or anybody else, I mean, really, to get homeless people in a home, number one, we got to keep them from becoming homeless. We got to keep them in a home first and foremost. Prevention has to be key. I mean, there's research that if a family loses their job, and is ending, crashing into homelessness, that it is fiscally more responsible, meaning it saves money. It saves money by paying their rent until the breadwinner, whether it be the man or the woman or both, get a new job, than letting them get evicted and going into the shelter system. And then what happens to the kids? Or even the adults when they're in the homeless services system, that too. I mean, how do you put, I was in I worked in a 40-bed family shelter. It was 40 families in one room, and one kid goes over and stabs another kid with a pencil. And I felt bad for the mom and the kid that actually stabbed the other kid. I mean, I felt bad for everybody, because, you're in an environment, you have one room, and it's really, really stressful on everybody. So I don't know what got this kid mad. I don't know why they stabbed the other kid with a pencil. Horribly wrong. But what I do know is if we kept that mom and a kid in an apartment so that they never lived in a homeless shelter, I bet you that kid wouldn't have had the aggression that he had and started stabbing people. So first and foremost, Mark, to get people into housing, we need to not let them end up homeless to begin with. There's been significant talk. In fact, there's a program called Rapid Rehousing that, when used right, is a huge benefit, that works to keep families and individuals in their apartment and prevent them from homelessness. That's first and foremost. Then I'm going to very simplify a very complex issue. If it is somebody that can restabilize their life, like me, right? Then we work with them first you have to get them off the streets, and there's a significant lack of shelters. And people all the time, this drives me crazy. This drives me crazy. People will say they're just refusing help, right? And I'm getting it from the Los Angeles videos, which I know a lot about, right? In Los Angeles City, in Los Angeles County, there's 90 to 100,000 homeless people. In Los Angeles City, there's 41,000 homeless people, last count. There's probably more like 50,000 homeless people. There's 1,000 beds. There's 1,000 shelter beds. Okay, I'm not the smartest person. I am really not. Okay, you have 41,000 people and 1,000 beds. Now, add to that, inside these shelters, it's unsafe. You get stuff stolen. Women get attacked. Men get attacked. You can only take a small bit of your stuff. But let's just do it on the math, right? People say, oh, they're refusing help. They just want to be there. There's 1,000 beds, 1,000 shelter beds, and 41,000 homeless people. 1,000, 41,000, 1,000, 41,000. Come on. But to answer your question, we have to figure out a way to take somebody, to help somebody get on a path from the streets to shelter to housing. Now, I was reading an article today about one of the bridge shelters. They call them bridge housing now. It's just a homeless shelter. And there's a guy in there for 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. That's warehousing. And the problem is there's no housing. So back to what I said earlier, we have to really advocate and push our politicians. So here's what's happened. And I know I talk about Los Angeles a lot, and you can duplicate this in most cities. The politicians really pushed for economic development. They passed laws and zoning and all this stuff. So I don't know what city you live in, but wherever I travel, you have these high rises going up, luxury apartment buildings all over the place, right? So the politicians were, and in Los Angeles, I'm not a conspiracy theory person. I'm really not. But one of the city council members was arrested by the FBI for corruption with developers. So it's all about money, and they're going to make more money pushing for this luxury developments than affordable housing. And now we're paying the price for it. One more thing. I got to go all the way back because I get this a lot too. I say you'll have somebody, I'll post a video that's Californian, and people say, oh, them damn Democrats, sorry, Addie, I promised I wouldn't do this. In the 80s, Ronald Reagan cut $15 billion worth of affordable housing funding that still hasn't been replaced. And we're seeing that. So you add the Republicans cutting $15 billion worth of affordable housing funding in the 80s, which created the homelessness we see today. Rents have gone up 75% in 5 years. Now the pandemic, that's what's happening. We have to figure out a way, as I was saying, number one, to prevent homelessness. Number two, to get people that are currently on the streets on a path from shelter to housing. Ideally, just bypass shelter, but that is not going to happen. And for all this to happen, to connect earlier to the person that was saying, do you help homeless people? Do you help people in the videos? Yes, we do. But you're thinking, do we give them sandwiches? No. Well, we give them not sandwiches. Walter, if you're still there, he'll tell you double parties, right? But Derek, pizza parties. Eddie, we had a cheese party. I should really explain that. I met Addie when she was homeless. I met Derek when he was homeless. I met Walter when he was homeless. When I'm buying food for a homeless person, I always ask them what they want. True homelessness is absence of choice. So Addie wanted to go eat cheese. Derek, we were having a pizza party because it was his whole encampment. And Derek's the type of guy that will feed the neighborhood. And that was his people. And Walter, they all love double doubles because they can walk to a McDonald's, but double doubles in and out was far. So that is why us together, go to invisiblepeople.tv/get involved and contact. I made it easy for you if you live in the United States to tweet, to call, to write your legislators and demand. I mean, we now have a new administration. And let's hope they actually do something that can help end homelessness. So y'all still with me? I'm scared to scroll down as Dano and Derek are talking about smells. Ska Punk, you are here. Oh my gosh, Ska Punk. I wish I could find it. I thought of you earlier because Ska Punk lives in a van and he thinks everybody should live in a van. There was an article about, and this fits perfect to what, I don't know what Dano and Derek were talking about, but it was the 40 reasons why you should not live in your car, right? And I think number 29 or so was the smells. And I mean, it is not for everybody. Van life is not for everybody. Maria A., yes, the new HUD director. A lot of people, I've never met her, but a lot of people are really encouraged by her. E1, hello. Peace, Dove, UBI, it's got to happen at some time. Well, folks, we're coming up on, so let me, if you haven't yet, please check out our new mini doc. Let me know what you think. Okay, guys, please don't delete this one. Lego Boba Fett. Lego Boba Fett. Boo-hoo, the plane hit the building. The people are sleeping in the streets. The junkie passed out in the bathroom. And the kid got shot. What we can do? I was born into a shit show world. Why should I care? Do you pay taxes? You pay huge taxes for all that stuff. Crime, taxes, it all matters, bro. Or broette. It all matters. I mean, we should care because we're humans. If we all took care of our neighbors, we would fix all the social crises in the world. But maybe you don't have compassion. And I've met people that don't have compassion. I have yet to meet anybody that doesn't have compassion for money. So, you know, the junkie in the streets and all that stuff costs you lots and lots and lots of money. Soror, thank you. And Andy, sorry that you got a headache. Is it my ranting that's causing the migraine? CJ, I am feeling a little better. Okay, folks, it is coming up on our time. I actually didn't think I was going to make the whole show today. Thank you, everybody, for asking. I think it was Mike Stoltz. Thank you for asking all the great questions. Everybody else that asked, Jesus Christ asked a great question. Can't believe I just said that. Oh, Dano, you asked that before. So I don't know if you saw, we just posted. I'll ask them, and I'm in Venice coming up, Dano. It's a good suggestion. Well, a lot of people, after last week's show, I've got a mixed response. I mean, some people loved it, and some people didn't. Hey, Melka. So coming up, invisible people. I mean, whether I could die tomorrow and we still go, we're still going. I built it so that our journalism and storytelling and now even video runs without me. So we're still going, but for my part of it, I thank you, Anonymous. It's going to be, and I hope you guys don't mind. There's going to be just a little less frequency of homeless videos being posted because I can't travel. Thank you, Mark Stoltz. I hopefully, more than donations, I hopefully we answered your questions, because that's what's this about. The donations link is up there because people give super chat. In fact, somebody gave Auntie D gave a super chat earlier, and YouTube takes a big percentage of that super chat, and all of it is great. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be really working on getting the house, and then I'm going to LA. I am on March 13th. I turn the big 6-0, and I'm going to be in Venice. Sadly, the coronavirus is still going. If Walter has been so kind. Walter is one of my friends that was homeless in Los Angeles, in Venice. I don't know how to pronounce your Iotan. Thank you very much for the donation. Walter was homeless in Los Angeles, in Venice. He's now in an apartment. He wants me to do a video of him in his apartment. You guys love update videos, but with COVID, I just feel bad. Hey, thank you, Valerie. With COVID, I don't, and I love Walter, and I love his wife, and I really want to make them happy, but I don't want to walk into somebody's apartment. I'm getting vaccinated Tuesday, and maybe that'll make a difference. I mean, I don't know when my second vaccination will be. But I turned 60, and maybe we'll do a marathon thing. I mean, I hate this COVID shit. I hate it because 60 is like I think I'm going to get emotional. 60 is a huge number. I'm turning 60. I have marvelous friends in real life, but I can't see any of them because of COVID. So, anyways, woo. Love you guys. Thank you for spending another Sunday night with me. I am going to get back to I got a bunch to do. I got a bunch to do this week, even today, cleaning up the house, getting it ready so I can get back to Los Angeles. Thank you all. Hopefully this evening was fun, and I always enjoy hanging out with you. Be safe. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Love you guys. Be safe.